Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Recently, Duchess Meghan shared a video featuring a very sleepy Mamma Mia, a beautiful floral arrangement, and what appears to be the first hint of the As Ever home line. If you look really closely, you'll see. Did you catch a little bit of Prince Harry in the background? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait for the home line to drop. Now, perhaps since she's put out that little teaser, we'll be able to get a few products maybe around the time that the holiday special on Netflix drops. Fingers crossed. Recently, Serena shared her unboxing of her As Ever Rosé on Instagram.
All right, Miss Meghan, I finally made it back to this beautiful unveiling. Okay, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, here we go. Now that somebody around here knows how to treat a woman. Thank you. Yes, I can't wait. It's 12 o'clock somewhere.
Now, you guys remember that Meghan was supposed to be honored at a gala in LA, but it was postponed due to the LA fires. Well, we recently found out that Meghan will be in appearance at the Night of Wonder Gala at the Natural History Museum on October 15th, where she'll be honored for her work with championing women and underserved communities. The month of October is going to be, well, at least the first 2 weeks of October is going to be very heavy when it comes to Sussex sightings. Speaking of which, we recently found out that the Project Healthy Minds has found a pair of marquee headliners to honor its 4th annual World Mental Health Day Festival. Of course, it's the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The couple will be honored as Humanitarians of the Year for their global efforts in building a safer, more equitable digital world for families and youth. Also be honored for their meaningful contributions to advancing mental well-being worldwide. Both will be in person at the organization's gala on the 9th of October, and the next day they'll be appearing during the festival as their foundation is partnering with the Project Healthy Minds to co-produce a series of discussions focused on change makers in the mental health space. In a statement, Harry and Meghan said, "Working with families and young people to prioritize safety online has been some of the most meaningful work of our lives. As parents ourselves, we have been moved to action by the power of their stories and are honored to support them. We're proud to be longtime partners of Project Healthy Minds as we work together to shine a light on what remains one of the most pressing issues of our time." Here are a few of the other speakers for the 2025 World Mental Health Day Festival, so you can pause to read and see if there's anyone that catches your eye.
I literally just saw this in People magazine and I could not be more excited for these two. I feel like they deserve every award that they get because they are the true working royals. We know that to be true. So I cannot wait. It is October 9th, so right around 2 weeks from now. And personally, I just can't wait to see what she wears. Every time they've gone to a major event, her dress always looks amazing, and I am so excited to see what she's going to wear. And Prince Harry obviously always looks dapper. And obviously the bigger reason is that they deserve it. They have worked endlessly. Archwell always puts their reports out. I know there's a few influencers, probably more than a few, but I've seen a few that have gone into depth about what all they've done. So it's well deserved. And obviously mental health awareness is near and dear to both of their hearts. They've spoken about it, and that's something that I'm passionate about.
Confessions of a Female Founder has been nominated in the category Best Business and Entrepreneurial Culture Podcast for the Signal Awards. Voting is currently open to the public and ends officially on the 9th of October. Now you can pause and use that link right there to the website to vote if you feel inclined to do so. Winners will be announced on the 15th of October, and the annual winners party will take place on the 10th of November.
I loved her honesty in stating it takes a while to get there. That was an incredibly honest statement because it's true. It takes a while, depending on your age for sure, because she mentioned getting older makes it so much easier, and I totally agree with her. But depending on your age bracket, When you start to recognize that people have an issue with you that is not based on anything pertaining to who you are, it makes it so much easier for you to look at that and go, oh, okay, that's what you're doing. Okay, cool. And then you just move on. It makes it that much easier. And Meghan is there. And I said this earlier this year when she did, I think it was the interview she did with Jane Pauley, she and Harry. And she spoke about being in her season of joy or her era of joy, however she phrased it. The gist of what she was saying was, listen, whatever is going on, none of these things move me. Because where I was 4 or 5 years ago, I'm no longer in that space. So whatever they're doing, whatever they're saying, whatever they're promoting, whatever they're pushing, listen, I am focused on what I need to do for my success, for my family, for my personal goals, as well as for my professional goals. So whatever else is going on, I literally couldn't care less.
Now, the state dinner has come and gone, but the smiles and interaction still has the internet abuzz.
This picture is another perfect example of why I do not with the British royal family in any way, shape, or form. Political do-nothings who exist off public funds, undercover ambassadors of white supremacy and classism, apolitical figureheads who will never tell you their opinion, but won't hesitate to cozy up to any person in power, Kardashians but by another name, Caucasian cosplay scam artists existing on pomp and circumstance, which is why the idea of royalty will never mean to me. Fourth Reich welcoming losers abuse their power that is built on nothing of substance.
Tell us how you really feel. Now, in last week's video, we touched on Fergie being in hot water, and I'll always maintain the misogyny is almost always interwoven with every single scandal with the British royal family. Like, it's interesting to me that so many people are so much more mad at Fergie than Andrew.
I need a movie, or actually no, I need a multi-season TV show about Sarah Ferguson. Not a documentary. I need a fictionalized about Sarah Ferguson. Because, girl, what are we doing? Like, why is it always with you? You think that a photo of her getting her toe sucked topless with her kid in the background by a man that was not her husband would be like the worst scandal? But recently, it has come out, I have to say allegedly, because of the lawyers, whatever, that, that Andrew was friends with Epstein, and she is Andrew's ex-husband, and they've always been friendly, even after the divorce, but that he gave her money. She then, she apparently gave it back, but then after, in 2006, when he was found guilty of all the stuff with kids, originally, she said, I abhor and reject him in the press, and then behind the scenes sent him an email apologizing for saying that. An email? What is the thought process? Mind you, this woman, it's not like she was young, she no better. She was 50 something, grown. I'm sorry, I just need a show because there's so much here of really getting into the psyche of how do you keep making bad decisions? Please, what are we doing?
When the news dropped that Sarah Ferguson had emailed Jeffrey Epstein to apologize for saying mean things about him in public, she was almost immediately dropped from 7 of her charities. To be clear, everyone in this situation has known that Fergie had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. It's only now that we are seeing that she apologized to him in a private email that they are now dropping her. Consequences come really quick for the women, don't they? But the one person who is conveniently being left out of the story is Andrew, the one who actually was friends with him and who paid off his accuser so that he didn't have to go to trial. But now this has started another fever of how Charles has let these two stay in the family and has treated them better than Meghan and Harry. It's almost like they're trying to equate what these two have done to what Meghan and Harry did. And to be clear, they are literally saying it. This article says The striking similarities between Sarah Ferguson and Meghan, and why Fergie's downfall should be a red flag for the Sussexes. How could they be saying that these two are similar in any way? But it just goes to prove my point, which is the only way that they can get clicks and make money is by saying Meghan's name.
What is this mess I'm reading about Fergie, the Duchess of York? Like, oh my goodness. These members of the royal family are so shameless, honestly. They are so shameless. I don't get it. They groveling at the feet of a convicted, keeping him close to our heart, clearly holding him in some high regard, borrowing money from him. So can somebody tell me, what is it with rich people wanting free things and begging other people for money? I don't get it. Like Prince Andrew would come to New York and stay at Epstein's place. Like, can't you afford a place of your own or stay in a hotel? I don't get it. Oh, okay, look. Bottom line is this. I think the royal family is utterly, utterly shameless. Utterly shameless. And the things that we let them get away with is disgraceful. That's what I think. This institution that people keep saying, you know, they're beyond reproach, don't hold them to account. This is the result of it. You have members of the royal family literally partnering, friendshiping with convicted. Did you see the emails? She used words like hellaciously, and I humbly apologize because I didn't reply to you. I was trying to save my book deals. That was what was important to her, not the fact that he had committed heinous crimes. None of that mattered. No. And have you noticed that everything they accuse Meghan Markle of is what this royal family is actually doing? Everything they've accused Meghan Markle of. The Duchess of York, Fergie, and the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, have profited disgustingly from their titles, from their influence and their position in the royal family. And every member of the royal family does that. And this is what they were accusing Meghan of. And it's clear that she's making her own money. And she was making her own money before she married Harry. But hey, what do you expect? What an absolute disgrace of a British institution.
I firmly believe that everything they've accused Meghan of is exactly what Sarah Ferguson has done. Now, I found excerpts from a certain biographer, not going to mention his name, where he talks about the Duchess of York and her husband. And I'm just going to read out bits of it so you can understand why I said that everything they accuse Meghan of is exactly what Fergie has done. So this is an excerpt. She spent $65,000 on a personal trainer whom she kept on permanent standby but had used just twice the previous year. She had run up a bill of £51,000 at Selfridges, making purchases through her old school friend, Pandora Delevingne, the store's senior personal shopper. The previous Christmas, 2 members of staff had spent nearly a day in the VIP section choosing hundreds of expensive gifts for a Christmas party, according to one source. Someone was dispatched every 3 to 4 days to pick up tights, face creams, and expensive hair products. A news agent had refused to supply her after an unpaid bill of £500. Other creditors, and this really made me lol, other creditors included a local butcher, a dry cleaner, and a car hire firm. The BP card that was used at local petrol stations was eventually confiscated because of unpaid arrears. She had racked up $6,500 using the Queen's special mail service on an almost daily basis, and she was sending out random gifts to hundreds of letters and gifts and photographs, including a silver letter opener, money clips, and cufflinks. Part of the problem, according to this thing, is that it was a sheer wastage. So, for example, she signed a lease to a £3 million home at £8,000 a month. After the owners decided to move back earlier than planned, she just kept on paying. She literally kept on paying, and she ended up spending £50,000 on a house she never lived in. So, yeah, that woman is something else. So I don't know how there are people on TV literally defending this woman when this is her past. And meanwhile, they accuse Meghan of raking up thousands and thousands of pounds on her dresses and blah, blah, blah. And Harry told us in his book Spare that Meghan actually paid for her own clothing. Meghan, thankfully, when she had the blog The Tig, she would show us her closet. And people can easily identify some of her rewears, especially her shoes, her accessories, etc. I don't understand. I do not understand how that woman, after 30 years of being divorced, lives on royal property, lives with her ex-husband, lives off the state, and she is still borrowing money from random, disgusting men. I just don't get it.
Elizabeth's right. And it sort of reminded me of that recent interview that Meghan had, where she said, I believe it was Serena who told her, you just have to tell the truth and live your life. And she was a bit frustrated that these lies about her continue to persist all these years later. But look at how God works. This week, while reading the comments under a lot of videos that have been talking about Fergie, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, but they're crucifying Meghan, but they're saying Meghan was the worst thing to happen to the family, but they're constantly bullying Meghan. And look at how many more problematic characters are within the family, are firmly protected within the firm. Well, we'll see how long that lasts for Fergie, because we know that they were able or comfortable enough to sort of cast her aside years ago, to some degree, because she still was living in the Royal Lodge with Andrew. So, do you guys think that Charles is going to do anything besides maybe not allow Fergie to come to church with them, as he's been allowing recently? Personally, I really don't think anything will come of it. I mean, Charles has had his share of problematic friendships with more than one people who were accused of doing a lot of the things that friend of Andrew and Fergie were accused of doing. So yeah, I'm just happy that Harry, Meghan, and the children are not there, because I feel like if they were still in the UK, Meghan and those children would be used as scapegoats to sort of distract from these stories. And again, I wonder who leaked that email that Fergie wrote to him, and the timing of that email being available to the Daily Mail. I don't know, it's a little side eye. What do you guys think?
If I see one more post about the royals and their soft power, I am going to scream. The Daily Show recently did a segment, and Jon Stewart said that everybody treats like a Make-A-Wish kid and they just kind of pander to him. That was on full display yesterday. Why did they let him ride around in a gold carriage procession that went nowhere? It just literally did loops around Windsor Castle. Why did they let him cosplay being a king? Being in a castle and a horse-drawn carriage, sitting next to a pretty princess who wore his favorite color. And listen, I'm going to be kind of a bitch here, but history has its eyes on William and Kate right now. And what are the optics of schmoozing? And I know all the people are going to like, it's their job. They have to. It's their job to schmooze. They do what the government wants them to. Maybe those rules would apply if it was like Emmanuel Macron or Justin Trudeau or South Korea. Not when it's who is eliminating free speech. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. You cannot say you want to modernize the monarchy, but then look this happy when you are schmoozing and using your soft powers with a person who's eliminating free speech. But at least she looked pretty, right, guys? And I feel like King Charles is like the only one who understood the assignment. He literally gave a speech and said, in 2 world wars, we fought together to defeat the forces of tyranny. Today, as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine. Went back and looked at the 2012 state visit that Obama did. These are some of the people that he invited. He had historians, he had politicians from both sides of the aisle, actors, some directors, Kevin Spacey. He had a wide mix of people there, right? This is another business trip. Look at some of the people that he's invited. Rupert Murdoch, he invited the CEO of Blackstone, Sam Altman, who does OpenAI, got the CEOs of Apple, of Alphabet. I feel like this is not about keeping the peace or goodwill. This is a business deal.
I feel like for William and Kate in particular, now I understand the representatives of the institution, but I feel like they're trying to sort of straddle the fence. And the current world that we live in, politics and social issues and just about everything else is so polarizing. And so they want to court certain people that are in power now. But I feel like they also sort of try to emulate certain things that Harry and Meghan do. And Harry and Meghan, we know where their stance is. We know who they support, the things that they don't support, and they stand firm in that, right? So there's some people who don't like them because they have very clear points of views of what they support and don't. And I think what this has illustrated, this past state visit has illustrated, is that William and Kate seem to struggle when it comes to diplomacy. And I feel like when Charles is no longer here and William and Kate are on the throne, we're going to see a lot more instances like this. I don't feel like William, as the current Prince of Wales, has been able to get a real good grasp on handling diplomacy in a way that his father or his grandmother has. But that's just my point of view. What do you guys think?
She's a human being and she's a mother. Yeah, and she was also emailing sorry, can you hear yourself? Have I had an aneurysm or something? Has the world actually ended? Am I actually sat in the realms of hell listening to all the morons that have come with me? What makes it even worse is then when she tried to explain why she sent the email weeks after slagging him off, she said, I did it, called him a good friend and apologised, to save my career as a children's author. So you wanted to make money out of selling books to children, so therefore you tried to repair your friendship with that convicted offender. Am I right? Because I was sat here thinking that she was some heartless lizard. I mean, does that mean we're all, each parent's allowed one friend each? Is that all right? Then I was listening to this TV debate earlier, and this 91-year-old woman called up and she was like, I don't know what the problem is. People need to leave things in the past and let bygones be bygones. Yeah, that's called turning a blind eye, hun. That's what you lot did for decades and decades. And this is why it's all unravelling now, is because people are starting to speak up about the horrors that you lot didn't want to talk about.
So I watched Meredith's recent video about this documentary. I thought, you know what? Let me check it out. And you know what? I was quite entertained by it. It's a bit of fun. I know a little bit about them. I know the drama that obviously he's created coming into the royal family. There's a lot of ties, obviously, with Meghan and Harry, the issues with the press, the racism, which let's not pretend there wasn't, because obviously there was. The press sells through hate. I think they're quite loved by a lot of people, and obviously hated by a lot of people too. He's quite problematic because he's very dramatic. He's obviously the American side of him. He's one of the very Americans with a lot of very expressive American, and being a shaman as well. That's what the hell's going on. Now I'm around a lot of people because I work in arts who are kind of like him. They talk about spirituality, healing, all that kind of thing. So I'm used to hearing this kind of thing. So it's not new to me. And the fact that she obviously has the same interests means that they're actually great companions for each other. Whether this is a lavender marriage, I don't care. It's got nothing to do with me. But they seem very much in love and very happy. I like her. I think they're actually a good match. even though he's, got a side to him, which for a lot of people is too much. He's very expressive, very excessive. But so be it. And those who are saying, well, he's a royal, he shouldn't be acting this way. Why do you put constraints on a person just because you've put them on a pedestal? Now, if you don't like that pedestal, get rid of the royal family. There doesn't need to be a royal family. Then you don't have to complain about taxes. You don't have to complain about this, that, or the other. I mean, the Norwegian royal family have had many scandals as well. Everyone's human. I mean, the Crown Prince, he married a party girl. They eventually accepted her, but she had a lot of issues with the press, just like her ex-husband, who unfortunately did unalive himself due to mental health issues. And so, the press needs a villain. The press needs someone just to harass because it sells papers. And at the end of the day, us as plebs watching on, we can decide who we think are the villains and just continue hating on and talking about. Let these people just get on with their lives. Stop, get rid of the royal family. Oh, and also, I didn't forget, the Crown Prince's, his wife, the Crown Princess, her son obviously is been charged with SA right now, and she also used to be mates with Epstein. I mean, everyone's just ridiculous. Just stop it all, and let people be happy and laugh. And I mean, their money now is not coming from the taxes anyway, so who cares? And she will always be a princess. Those saying she's using her title. I'm sorry, but she went through her duty for many, many years. Let her do what she wants now. Let her talk to angels. It's fine. It was fun.
Get out! Get out. Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray. I rebuke it in the name of the Lord.
And with that, we've come to the conclusion of today's video. Wherever you guys are, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye! Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.